Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Billy Nelson here at the start of fight week in Belfast. Big week for your charge, Lewis Crocker. He probably takes on his biggest challenge so far. Excited? How are you feeling at the moment?
I'm fine. It's down to the boxer now. It's all the hard work's been done in the gym, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. It'll be an exciting fight. I think it'll be a good clash of styles, and I'm very confident of victory on Saturday night.
Lewis has been gently climbing that ladder of late, but a really big performance on Saturday night could really catapult him into some big moments, some big challenges. How important is it that he stays straight and keeps on the right side of things?
Every fight's important, but he's been given this opportunity with Matchroom, of which he's very thankful. And another good performance, so I'm sure earning a contract and bigger and better fights.
How much has he improved and learned during his time with you? Because I know he's definitely been going strength to strength since he's been with you.
Well, that's for others to determine. To determine the improvement. You can see. I think it was all for all and sundry to see against Tyrone that he's improved bundles. His work rate was very high. Very powerful punches as well. I mean, during the commentary, one of the commentators says the problem with throwing big shots so regularly is that you get tired at the end of the fight. Well, that wasn't the case because he's super fit. As all my fighters, it's nice to see the improvement, and it's nice to get for it to be recognised. But most importantly, the boxer's happy, and if he's happy, I'm happy.
He's settled in really nicely down in Airdrie. I know obviously it's his home away from home over there. He's got some friends over there as well, I believe, but settled in well to life over there?
Brilliantly. He's in my wee village of Green Girls. He stays with one of my other professional boxers. He stays with his family, and an extension to the house that he's got to himself. It's a living room, bedroom, ensuite and a kitchen. He's got it made. He's got it made, and he's very thankful to the family as well.
In Jose Felix, you've got somebody who's upset the odds before against Gary Cully. How important is it looking back at those tapes and analysing maybe what Gary did wrong and making sure you don't make the same mistakes, or Lewis doesn't make the same mistakes?
Well, of course it's very important, but there might have been issues with Gary's weight. Making 9'9" is such a big lad. And he's punching way up, and that's where Mike Tyson always had an advantage. He was always punching up the way, and you're sometimes blinded by the shot. And the shots that Felix hit Gary Cully with were the shots that were coming up the way over the top. His leading hands, and the left hook as well over the top. Something we've got to bear in mind. We've got to keep the head behind the shoulder all the time, keep the chin down, and just engage in a good hard fight.
It's something I alluded to before in terms of opening doors and the opportunities that this could bring. Getting this 2024 off to a perfect start, there are doors that could open for Lewis Crocker. We could be seeing him in big main events and working his way towards where he wants to be as a world champion.
Of course, there's a big year for him. I don't know exactly what the plans are with Matchroom and his manager Jamie, but another step up in grade, another wee step up in grade will be great. And then by the end of the year, hopefully he'll be fighting someday, maybe for an eliminator for a world title, getting into 2025 and fight for a world title, and hopefully bring that back to Belfast for him and his fans.
You were talking to me off camera about how busy the gym is at the moment. You're obviously not going to be in Belfast the whole time during this week. Back on Friday for a quick fight night, and then straight back over the pond to Belfast on Saturday.
I've got Luke Bibby fighting. He was a two-time British champion amateur senior, and he's making his debut on Friday night. I'm really looking forward to this young man's journey. He's improved dramatically in the 4 or 5 months that he's been in the gym. He had the unenviable task of being Lewis Crocker's sparring partner for Tyrone McKenna. So welcome to the pros. There's 3 months sparring with 2 months sparring with Lewis Crocker, and he handed his hill and done particularly well. So he did for the 2 months. Considering he's a lightweight and Lewis is a welterweight, very good.
Another man that's keeping busy in the gym is Martin Bakole, and we had some news regarding Martin a couple of weeks back, obviously going into that final eliminator against Cassius Chaney. Welcome news, and in some ways maybe a bit of a relief that you've got that opportunity?
It's, in my eyes, it's long overdue, but now we've got the opportunity. We've got till the 13th of February to negotiate with Chinese people and then get that fight made. If we can't get it made, it goes to purse bids, and then we'll take care of business when the fight's made.
How frustrating has the whole process been with Martin? Because we know you've been working towards these big fights for years, really, and to finally get that over the line when you're in a final eliminator must be huge.
Well, as Martin said in the gym the other day, he says now we're at the races. We're now, near the front, and we're going to. He's got a clear path now to a world title fight. Beats Chaney, possibly has another one fight, and then, because I don't believe that the WBA will call for the title after the first fight. Maybe October, November time, I think they'll call for the mandatory challenger to fight, and that'll be us, and we'll fight whoever it will be. If not, the WBA will call for somebody else to fight Martin.
I believe 2024 is an achievable aim for a world title?
I think there's an outside chance, but the probability will be 2025.
When that time comes, who are you expecting to be in the opposite corner?
To be perfectly honest with you, I really don't care who it is. I'm not. I believe only one person is capable of beating Martin Bakole now, and that's probably Tyson Fury, and it'll be a super tight fight. I do believe Martin could beat on his A game. Martin will beat everybody else in the world. I believe. I've seen what he's done to multiple other top contenders, and in a lot of cases, leading them into a false sense of security, but no performing, and then giving them, one day just to he's playing mind games with him.
Is that one of the reasons why these fights haven't come? Because you look at what he has done to people in sparring, and they don't want those fights.
No, what he's done to people with 20-ounce gloves and a headguard on, you wouldn't want that with 10 ounce and no headguard. And there's loads that we could mention, but I won't. But that is the reason. I mean, the people know, and then words get spread. The boxing fraternity is a very small, select group, and they all know that he's good. A man came to my house with his boxer, and the man's never seen Martin in the gym. He was out to spar Martin actually, and he says to me, he says, he's raving about Martin Suarez. And he says people have told him this, that, and the next thing. It's just the way it is. He says that's a super fighter. He was a very, very good fighter.
While I've got you here, I do want to talk about some of the heavyweight action that we've got coming up. First of all, Zhilei Zhang and Joseph Parker. Really interesting fight. Which way do you edge towards that one? Because Parker really produced when it mattered against Deontay Wilder, and you could say the same for Zhang against Joe Joyce.
Well, in fairness, Wilder was a shell of himself, wasn't he? In fairness, and in many cases you could say that Joe Joyce was as well after the first defeat. He just didn't look the same guy in the rematch. Joseph's a very good friend of mine, and I'd love nothing more for him to beat Zhang. But I think it could be, with respect, I think it could be the same kind of outcome as Joe Joyce fight. A big solid unit in front of you. Joe's not the biggest heavyweight, and I think Zhang might just walk him down and walk him into some shots.
Were you surprised in any way about how Deontay Wilder performed on that night?
Well, nobody's seen him box as poorly as that, have they? I'd personally like to see him hang the gloves up. He's had a fantastic career. The legs weren't in what's the word? No, the one there and tone with his body. Yeah. Everyone seemed to be so disorganised, and he didn't look as though he could take a shot either, did he? He looked a bit dodgy when he was taking a few shots.
Some people have said regarding Joseph Parker that maybe he should have been the man in line to take on Anthony Joshua. Instead, we've got Francis Ngannou against Anthony Joshua. Would you be frustrated if you were in the shoes of Joseph Parker?
I'm sure Joseph's well aware what's happening because he's involved with the people that are running the show over in Saudi. But you know, it's very difficult for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to knock back the vast amount of money that they're getting. I mean, if Turkey Al Sheikh offered me the same money that Anthony Joshua was getting to go and fight Francis Ngannou, as I've said previously, we'd walk to Saudi Arabia to fight him. I mean, you can't knock back that kind of money. Is it good for boxing? I say no, because it should be the champions versus the top contenders, and in essence, it's going to somewhat delay Martin getting a world title fight. So obviously, I'm no fully supporting it.
In terms of Francis Ngannou stepping up to face Anthony Joshua, do you give him any chance at all? What chance do you give him against AJ?
None. The same as what I gave him against Tyson Fury, although Tyson Fury underachieved and Ngannou overachieved.
You weren't swayed at all by what he showed against Tyson Fury?
Not at all, no. I believe on that showing against Tyson Fury, Martin Bakole would destroy him.
Is that a fight that you can see being made? Obviously,
I know the two of them are friendly and they were chatting away at the in Riyadh. So why not have the Battle of Africa? Yeah. They could, if they wanted it, they could get it. But he'll not beat the. So he's fair play to him, by the way. Ngannou, he's went in a deep end, didn't he? He's went in with Fury. He's went in with Anthony Joshua. He's a great fighter, even nicer human being. And then he's talking about Wilder. I mean, Jesus. I mean, but top level fighters like Martin Bakole, your Philip Hrgović's, they want these fights against these guys. They've earned their stripes, and Ngannou hasn't.
Is one of the worries with Ngannou as well that he's fighting these top names for huge amounts of money, but if he was to take a small step down and fight some of the names you were mentioning, the money wouldn't be there and he wouldn't want those fights?
Well, maybe if he lost, when he loses to AJ, obviously the money will go down, and maybe a step down in class. But I don't think he'd beat anybody in the top 10, to be quite honest. Well, no many of them anyway. No, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd beat anybody in the top 10, and to get a top 10 ranking is just outrageous, isn't it? That's it, but that is.
The final thing I want to quiz you on is a man that you've mentioned a couple of times during this chat, and that's Tyson Fury. His fight date against Oleksandr Usyk is fast approaching now, really. It seems to have gone very, very quickly, just a few weeks away now. Has your opinion on that fight changed at all over the last 6 months?
A fully focused Tyson Fury is a joy to behold in the gym. I've watched him spar Bakole, and nobody in boxing, one person in boxing, I went, wow, he's magnificent, was Terence Crawford when he fought Ricky Burns. The other one, for me, was Tyson Fury when he first sparred Martin Bakole. You know, I just thought his control of distance, use of his jab, punch variety, footwork to a T, you know, and if he brings his A game against Oleksandr Usyk, who, by the way, is a fantastic fighter, magnificent fighter. Love watching him. I study him, and I study Lomachenko from a southpaw fighter. Watch him all. So you watch the best, and you try and replicate what they're doing. But if Tyson brings his A game, I think he'll stop him. Because stop him to the body, just like Martin Bakole did.
But is it a case of Tyson needs to be 100% focused and we can't see those lapses that we saw against Ngannou?
Oh, 1,000,000%. You lapse against Usyk and he'll box ahead of you. It's as simple as that. But I don't think he will. And if he does, then Usyk will beat him. But if he's fully focused, there's nobody going to beat him.
Is the one thing about that fight revolving around Martin Bakole that if we do see an Usyk victory, or possibly even if we see a Tyson Fury victory, we could be seeing a second fight, possibly even a third fight down the line? That's going to delay the chance of Martin.
If there's a second fight after this first fight, the IBF is going to get called. after the second fight, the WBA and the WBO will get called. So yes, they could have a third fight, but it wouldn't be for all the belts, or it might only be for one of the belts, the WBC.
Thank you very much for your time, Billy. Really appreciate it.
And that's only my perception on it, but I think that's what will happen.
Thank you very much for your knowledge. Very good. Thank you very much, Billy, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much.